And it's Deadspace without a space.
Yes.
That's how that works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's us, yep. So 2014, you guys kicked off?
Around then,
Yep.
yeah. So Tom wasn't in the band at the time, which is why he was pointing at me. But basically, I wrote an ambient EP with a friend of mine, Drew,
Right, yep.
who ended up being the first bass player and sort of creative figure in Deadspace.
Yeah, okay.
It was written under the name Deadspace, but at the time it wasn't a black metal band at all.
Right, okay.
It's probably why the name is not very reminiscent of a black metal band at all, because it wasn't.
Yep, fair enough.
It kind of became that way, accidentally, because I started writing a bit more for it, and needed a singer.
Yeah, okay.
And I was playing drums on it and guitar, and
Right,
it's just a creative thing, you know.
Yep.
And I was like, well, we need a singer if we want to do this live, or we need a singer for the CD anyway.
Yep.
Laid down some stuff like just for fun.
Yep.
And Drew was like, dude, you're perfectly capable. You can do it if you want to do it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I accidentally fell into this role of being a frontman. It was never meant to be like that.
Well, from what I saw tonight, you've done a pretty good job. So
I've had like 9 years to practice now. So.
Just a bit of prep work,
I've failed a lot too, you know. I've had some bad gigs.
Yeah.
So that's basically the origin of the name and where it started. It wasn't meant to be a band. Wasn't meant to go live. When it went live, Drew quit.
Oh, no way.
He said, nah, I just want to play, I just want to create music.
Yep.
Drew quit. We filled the space with our best friends. Some of them came and went. Tom came in at one point. I think we ruined his life a little bit. He just turned 18. He came out to watch us play. We hung out with him for maybe 5-6 months.
Yep.
Bad influence. And then our old guitar player, he left. We needed a guitar player, and Tom was just there, and all the lights were shining on Tom. But poor little barely 19-year-old Tom had no idea what he was getting himself into, and
fantastic.
We just said, do you want to play in a band properly? Come tour. And in the following year after that, we did Japan.
Yeah,
we've done Europe. We did Australia a couple of times. Yeah. So basically, he got thrown in the deep end, and now he's basically my right-hand man. So this band is really just me and Tom and Herb our drummer Herb, to quite a considerable degree. We try not to overload each other. We're very communicative of what we want to do, what we don't want to do, because for us it's more important that we are interested. But as far as the band goes, if one of us three go, then we're
all over.
That's it. So
you're a footnote in Metal Encyclopedia.
But we put our friendship a little bit before.
Okay, good. Yeah.
It's just it's a band. We like to play music. It's the only thing that's in it for us. We've spent more money than we've earned coming here. And that's just how it is. But we're happy, we're hanging out. It's a good excuse to be here with mates. None of us have slept, and we don't want to kill each other. So for us, that's what it's about. And when that dies, then it's time to cut it. For now, we're having a lot of fun. We put a new album out this year.
I saw that. Yep. That's pretty awesome.
So can't really
complain.
No.
Yeah. So the new album, there's some pretty specific themes on it. It's not just a random collection of nonsense. Do you want to elaborate on that, because it blew my head?
So what I like to do these days is explore concepts that have already been put forward by other people. So I don't mean it in a really pompous sort of way. I did a philosophy degree.
Yeah, okay.
It got me absolutely nowhere, as these things do.
That's true.
But it was fun, and I only did it because it was fun.
Yep.
And I get really into that kind of stuff. So I take a concept and I explore it for the better or for the worse.
Yep.
So for this one, I took Nick Land's basically. Jesus Christ, his Dark Enlightenment theory. Which is,
right.
So he's been labelled as a lot of things, including a Nazi, an accelerationist. He's just a cooked motherfucking unit.
Right, okay.
He does a lot of drugs. He's banished himself from the US. He lives in China. He does coke with fucking Crowley and weird dude. But he's got a lot of really fascinating ideas. Very fascinating. And some of them are very plausible. One of them is that capitalism is actually an AI that humans are programmed to serve, and there's no escape from that.
Right, okay.
So that's what we're here to do. And all this fucking bullshit about everything around it is just how we cope with that fact.
Yeah, okay.
And that's kind of what this album, to boil it down to like layman's terms, it's kind of what it explains is, you know, we did albums before. It was like, you know, the EP that we did before, Unveiling the Palest Truth, is like, well, the concept of happiness, what is it?
Yeah, okay.
And why is it perhaps misleading, or why is it perhaps the most important thing that we have? And that, you know, that concept disintegrates pretty quickly.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, once under scrutiny.
Yeah, that's it. So then it becomes, you know, where do we go next? And I like to look at these things and go, you know, there's some real dangers in this way of thinking, is that, you know, we do dehumanize ourselves even more.
Yep.
At the same time, like Land also, like, he champions art and music. He says that they are like the ultimate escapes in a way.
Okay. All right,
so like that's something that we can totally get behind. But then, like, you know, what we were saying to you before, like Tom's a tradie. I'm starting to be a teacher.
Yep.
We got jobs. We got real lives. The concept of being happy is not something that actually is a pursuit that we push every single day.
Yeah.
We have better shit to do than worry about being happy.
Yeah, it becomes more the idea of the dream than anything else. You more start just pursuing the idea of comfort.
The idea of the individual in this collective. And that's kind of like where it differs from where it was before. Our lyrics used to deal with the individual. They don't deal with the individual anymore. I don't want to talk about myself. It bores me. I'm talking about where I fit into this sort of, and what I observe and what I see. Like, you know, as an artist, or like, you know, if I was going to be whingy about it, like a social critic or whatever. Like, I don't want to put it that way, but you know, I'm just here I'm a fly on the wall.
Yeah,
that's it. And that's kind of how we like to see it these days.
Sweet.
Yeah, for us, it's like, I guess all of the albums, if you put them together, it focuses on this idea that, like, the individual experience is still real no matter how bullshit it is.
Right, okay.
So if you do something and you feel something and you sit down and you actually have to think, do I really feel this thing, or do I feel this thing because I've been told by this? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because that's your experience. It's all you can do. And it's like my analogy, right? Like, we're all in a jail.
Right.
Just get along with the other inmates, jack off as much as you want, but don't come on anyone.
All right, I like it. Okay.
And that's sort of our philosophy as people. So it's kind of like, how can we come in and discuss all these like bleak sort of things, but not actually be assholes? Because that's important to us as well. Like, you know, like I lived in Europe for 2 years with my wife. I've seen the true black metal scene, and I've seen this attitude where it just becomes like cringy, and it's like it's the music has an ethos, it has like an art form about it. You don't need to be a wanker to play this kind of music. Obviously, it goes hand in hand with the performance. If you but you don't need to be, and ultimately, no one will want to work with you, or no one will want to book you. So it's just how it is.
I like when I find someone who's put a bit of thought into what they do. So I was really impressed when I came across that.
Well, it's not designed dogmatically to, you know, I don't want people to listen to the album and go, oh fuck, I need to study this. And
take some notes and
If we were gonna do that, if we were gonna do that, we would have gone with a really colourful fucking artwork scheme with mats and shit all over it. Like, no, it's just like it's music. It's heavy music. This album has more death metal on it than the other ones did. It's an old school, new school kind of blend. We thought we were doing something interesting and cool. To us, it was challenging. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, cool. You know, some days I like it, some days I don't like it. But I hate this one a lot less than a lot of the other ones we've done. So
that's pretty good. And you've done a lot too. So
we have.
That's saying a lot. Yeah, nice. So obviously these lyrical concepts, what the things that you're trying to put forward, that's mostly from you.
Always from me.
It's all from me.
Always.
Like, you've got to deliver it, you got to communicate it. So
to be really candid, like how this band works is I write everything. From the skeleton. And I filter it through Tom.
Cool.
And Tom goes, I can improve this. This is good, don't touch that. This sucks. This song, it's too blah blah blah. And he'll just, Tom has the authority. If he doesn't like something, just boot it.
Like, so there is a bit of interplay between you guys.
There is. And same with Herb. And if anyone has a point, then like it's like, cool. Like, if you think we can do something better, we do something better, and I'll sit down and redraft something, or you're welcome to send me ideas or whatever. But with this album and most of our albums, I just steamrolled all the way through it.
Yep.
I wrote half of it when I was living in Belgium.
Right.
Wrote the other half back here. Basically stayed in
Yep.
Sent things between the guys. I program all the drums. I send them to Herb.
Yeah, okay.
I only do it like that because I can play drums.
Yeah,
I could record them, but if I record them, then he gets attached to things that I'm doing, and I want to get attached to things that Herb's doing.
Yeah, cool.
So I just program simple beats. Sometimes there's a specific fill, and I'm like, watch out for that.
Right.
It goes with the guitars, it goes with the drums or the vocals. I need it to have that feel.
Yeah.
And I leave, like, I track the drums with Herb. Herb and I did half of this record each.
Yeah, okay.
So
cool.
I played half the drums on this record too.
Right,
but
okay.
usually, Herb's the kind of guy I just leave in a and I walk off and it comes back and it's done.
It's all sorted.
And same with Tom. Like, if he sits down and he really wants to actually track something, I can leave him alone and it's done. But, you know, we like to do it together as much as possible.
Yeah,
We
true.
just, you know, it's time frame wise and schedule wise, it's quite hard. I mean, Tom's a tradie, he gets up at 4 o'clock. At the moment, I'm a medical receptionist, so I'm like on shift work, and like my shifts will range between 8-hour shifts to 11-hour shifts.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
you know, it just doesn't work out all the time, so we just do what we can.
Yeah, fit it all in around. Yeah, that makes
That
total
makes sense.
You're on the East Coast.
We are.
Yep.
I believe so.
West.
You guys are from the West. We're on the East now, yeah. And, you know, times are rolling on. So what's next?
Fuck knows.
Just whatever happens.
Yeah, pretty much. Just, There's no actual plan moving forward at the moment. We're all really busy with life and shit. You know, having, you know, fucking careers, full-time jobs, and you know the other responsibilities that come with it, fucking mortgages and
all the rest,
and all that shit.
How many of us have a mortgage now? You, me, and Annette have a mortgage.
But yeah, it's just kind of gotten to a point, like, with the personal lives. Like, at some stage, music has had to take a back seat to a lot of the other things that we have going on.
In 2019, we put the band first.
Yeah, okay.
And we almost never recovered from it.
Yeah.
Like, we spent everything, the money that I now put towards like house payments that like my wife and I put forward, like that money, like I would have had that if we didn't have this fucking band. And 2019, 2020, it was more 2018, 2019. We went crazy.
Lead up to the whole COVID thing.
We did Australia like 8 times. We did the Satyricon tour. We did Japan. We did Europe.
It was supposed to go back to Europe.
Yeah, we were supposed to go back to Europe. COVID crackdown, and we almost never recovered from that. So we're not
for a very brief time. The band actually like fully split, and there was no plans to actually ever pick the tools back up.
When we got back together, we promised each other that we will not let this band become impossible, and we will not let this band ruin our friendships. We just decided that it's better to do nothing for a little while than to do nothing forever. It's not done until we're dead.
Nice.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna push all the time and that we're gonna put it in front of all our other things, because, like, you know, we like to play, but we do what feels right, you know. Like, we played these shows, like, we know Will. Like, Tom plays in another band called Woe Warden, which is a band that I started with them, and then I left and
on your merry way.
did my own thing. But yeah, basically, like, they know Will, I know Will, good dude. Now we know Ryan. You know, it's just about, like, it felt right. Like, the guys were like, we want to put on a show, but we don't want to make it boring. We want to do the best thing for you. And what bands do you want to play with? And we actually got to, like, handpick all of the bands on this.
Sweet.
The bands don't even know this, but we handpicked with Will all of the bands on this lineup.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's really cool.
From listening to them and putting it together ourselves. So
that's actually quite rare these days and nice to hear.
Yeah, and, you know, we were offered other things that maybe would have been bigger, but we didn't want to do them because this album, it's a bit more old school. We need to play with a more old school band, i.e. like old school headliner, you know? But it's kind of black metal, so we need like a crusty, ugly black metal band maybe to open. So Asura, you know, like it's pieced together very strategically to, like, we don't want to be lumped into just these, like, oh yeah, play this mixed bill because you're going to sell tickets. So can't complain about that. And doing it that way, it's much better than ending up on some fucking shitty mixed bill festival where you're like, why is this band on the bill and why are we doing this? And it's like a mood swing, you know?
Yeah, okay,
I like to go to a gig and be like, okay, well, at least I know where I am.
Yeah.
Or if I don't want to know where I am, at least just go to a psychedelic gig, you know?
Well, look, I'm glad you guys are here. I had a fucking rage. Yeah. So that was really good. Yep.
Thanks for coming down. Thanks for shooting. Thanks for filming.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks so much for, like...
You've done more work than us, mate.
I'll be keeping an eye out on whatever comes next, whenever it comes next, and yeah, looking forward to it. Sweet. All right.
Cool. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks so much, man. Cool. Nice to meet you, mate. Yeah.